Good evening, gentlemen and ladies all around the Florida and the South. We have our Lieutenant Commander in Chief. I put him in timeout to let us know, about the museum and talk about recruitment and retention. So this will be a good opportunity for everybody, especially if you're new camp commander or a new brigade commander and so forth and so on. Most of the elections uh, for camps and brigades and stuff like that. Yeah, my internet's messing up again. So when you join the chat, please say hi, where you're from. Uh, I'm the Florida man. I'm with the Sons of Confederate Veterans down here in Florida. Anything we talk about this way, I stay on the doghouse. I can't get in the doghouse. We have our Lieutenant Commander in Chief with us tonight. So I'll bring him up and have a gentleman conversation with him. Good evening, Tony. How are you doing tonight?
All right, Sean. How about you? Besides having internet issues.
I can't come. I don't know. I mean, it's every Tuesday when I go live. I'm thinking about moving the show to Wednesday and see if that calms down.
Come on, you're in Florida. You
Or
should
try to
have
get
no
home
internet
earlier.
problems. Everybody's got internet.
Yeah, and internet problems.
Yeah, that's true. Well, as you noticed,
Yeah.
why we're late, it wasn't your fault. It was my fault with technical difficulties here on my end. So what's up?
That's no big deal. I don't think anybody's going to. Not much, sir. We haven't talked to you since you were running for Lieutenant Commander in Chief. Congratulations on winning your election. Uh, so, what have you been up to as our Lieutenant Commander
Well,
in Chief?
been running around like a chicken with my head cut off for the last few months. Between GEC meetings and court cases in Missouri and running to South Carolina a couple times, I think. And we're getting ready to head to Lexington Thursday for all the Lee Jackson Day events coming up this weekend. And then March, we'll be heading back down to Columbia, Tennessee to HQ for another GEC meeting. So it's keeping me busy. Wife and I have actually been.
I know the. Yeah.
Yeah, the wife and I have actually been home for about a month now. It's been a nice break. So, but we're getting, like I said, we're getting ready to start traveling again. So, and silly season starts in March with all the conventions and everything starting back up. And I think I'm already got 3 scheduled right now. So it's going to be a busy spring and summer.
Yep. Yeah. For us, I know the Florida Mechanized Cavalry, Ronnie Nichols and Captain King will be at Elm Springs next month for officer call.
Yeah, I think y'all's is.
Yeah. Yeah, our division reunion is typically in June.
Yeah, I think I was trying to make it to Texas this year, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to get there, and we'll see what happens with that. But at least Houston will be in Texas anyway, down at Houston for national this year, so it's no biggie.
Mm-hmm.
But well, you want to get into the meat of the stuff right now?
Yeah, because Eric Favetti just told me this morning my camp's on fire because this month we just recruited 4 members. We upgraded a cadet to a full member, 2 members that I talked to at a recruitment event, and another one that pretty much the same thing contacted us through the division website. So yeah, I'm starting to get on a first name basis with Eric.
Well, good, good. I'm glad y'all are growing down there, and we got to keep that up across the whole confederation. And well, first thing I'd like to mention, if everybody doesn't know by now, the banknote's been paid off on the museum. That $880,000 approximately, whatever it was, has been paid off. So we have that out from under us now. And as anybody watched SCV chat last night, Commander-in-Chief Kennedy and his brother Ron were on there discussing all that. And the goal is to keep paying the money that we owe ourselves back, like to the Brooks Fund, and we got to get the Forest Plaza rebuilt and then start using some of this money for campaigning, advertisement and stuff so that we can recruit more members. And if we can, like as Donnie wants to do, double our membership as fast as we can, we got to take that advantage of this opportunity that we have this money that we can spend some on advertising. And we need to recruit, like I said last night on the chat there in the chat, said recruit. And Florida's a prime example. I mean, your camp's growing. How many members do you have right now?
15.
You get with the 4 new members?
Yep, 15.
Okay, well that's good. You just increased by a huge amount. So 25% basically. So Florida is a funny situation. And, you know, Florida's got almost 24 million people now. And you got approximately between 11 and 1,200 members in the division down there. And that means you have 23 million plus people to recruit from down there. I know a lot of them are Yankees, and my wife's up there laughing at that. But
yeah,
I know for sure, because as a native Floridian, I know that when I was born in 1961, we had about 5 million people in Florida. And now we're pushing 25 million. So that tells you something.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
especially down in your end of the world's got a lot of them. But a lot of good people still. But, you know, some of them might have Confederate ancestors. So it never hurts to ask everybody. But, the big thing, the camp is the bottom of the pyramid. It's the support of the SCV. So you got to have a strong camp and a camp that's growing so that the SCV can continue to grow. And you got to have good camp meetings. That's one of the things. You have to have good camp meetings. You got to have a program, not just an eat, meet, and retreat type thing. You need good speakers. You need an agenda for your camp meeting. And it needs to be laid out so that everybody knows what's going on. Information is put out. You need, y'all got a Facebook page, I'm sure. I think you got a website too? Because that always helps.
I am currently working on that with another division member.
Okay. The more Instagram, X, all that stuff, the more social media outlets you have, you might be able to get to people, the better too. And you need to be, I hope you read one of my recent articles in the magazine about getting back out in the community. And that's something you have to do. The SCV has to stop hiding. It seems like since all the mess started about 5 years ago between COVID and all the woke stuff that happened in 2020 and it's continued on to this day, we got to get beyond that. I mean, people dropped out of the SCV. We had people pass from the COVID, lost a lot of members. We shut down meetings. I don't know how it was in Florida, but I know we stopped meetings for several months up here, but in Virginia. But it hurt the SCV bad. And a lot of places and camps and divisions are still trying to recover from that. And we got to do a better job in getting out in the community, getting the SCV seen out in public so that they know we're not what all these woke extremists say we are. Prime example of what happened right after I wrote that article was the hurricane that came through and devastated Western North Carolina and East Tennessee. I didn't expect us to have to get back out in the community that fast. That was right after I wrote the article. And we put on I can't say we put on, our members stepped up to the plate and delivered to those people that were in need out there. And it's not because it's good show that we're out looking for publicity and stuff. No, that's how Southerners are in general. They'll go out and help our brothers in need. And we still have camps up here in Virginia that are helping the Mercy Chefs out there in the Asheville area, because I just got an update on that yesterday. And people are still hurting out there. They're living in trailers, tents, and all kinds of, no water, no heat, no electricity. It's still rough out there, and we got to continue helping them. But that's getting back out there, showing the public what the SCV is all about, not just going out like we always do. We put up tombstones for our ancestors, iron crosses, Southern Crosses of Honor, cleaning cemeteries. That's all great stuff, and it's stuff we have to do if we want to live the charge that was given to us by Stephen D. Lee. But we got to get out there and work in the soup kitchens, whatever you want to call it, help out with these relief efforts, all this stuff too, so that the public knows what we're doing. And it's hopefully, I think now is the time, since I can't discuss politics and so much as who we vote for or anything like that, but now is the opportune time to take advantage of the next 4 years or so, and hopefully longer than that, to rid ourselves of this last 4 years of I can't help but say, some people didn't want to get out in the public and show our colors. It's time now. We got to get over that, and we need to get back out there and show who we are. It's the only way we're going to build up our numbers, is we got to get back out there. And advertising, we talked about last night on chat too. I'm the head of the billboard committee. We're trying to do billboards across Confederation. I'll be sending information out on that soon to division commander. So Calvin, if you're watching, you'll be getting some information on that. Offering $500 to help out with each division to put up at least one billboard in their division. So, and I just got an email right before we came on too. Some of the designs we're coming up with. We'd like to get a consistent design throughout the Confederation, at least this year to start. And if we could have the same billboard all the way from Florida up through Virginia, Maryland, and Delaware, any of the Pennsylvania, if they want to stick one up there, West Virginia, Kentucky, the whole Confederation, and possibly all the way out to California, that would send a great message. And it would get us back out there in the public good. And we just got to keep doing this kind of stuff. We got to get our membership up. Y'all got to get out there and recruit. We have in Virginia, I think we have a little over twice as many members in the SCV as y'all, and we only have a third of the population. So, not bragging on Florida.
Thing when I was
as a Floridian, I'm definitely not bragging. What's that, Sean?
That's the thing that caught. Yeah, that's the thing that caught my eye back when I was a kid, because my parents would take us to all the battlefields, right? Yeah. Driving through Alabama, Georgia, Alabama, all the way up to Tennessee was the billboards. And that was back in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah, I know. I think one of y'all's camps up in, is it Pensacola, that had some pretty good success with a billboard up there. And I think they got some members out of it. And
yeah, definitely up there in the Panhandle area.
So yeah, we gotta, like I said, we gotta recruit. It's like Commander Kennedy said last night. If we double our membership, our money problems start going away pretty quickly, because that's another $35 a year membership dues. $3 of those dues go straight to the museum and help them pay that, any of the rest of our debts off. And like I said, we're not going to be going crazy spending money anymore. That's a thing of the past with getting ourselves in debt, as I made sure that everybody knew last night. No more of that. This was a godsend, basically, and we really do appreciate those benefactors that stepped up and paid that debt off. So once again, everybody that was involved in that, I don't know who they were. There's only a handful of people that know, and I don't want to know. I just thank them tremendously for helping the Sons of Confederate Veterans get out from under that $880,000 plus left on that loan. And it was really appreciated, and we'll live up to it. We'll keep raising money. 21st Century Confederate Heroes. Everybody, if you can, join that. Get your camps to join that. Your division, if they haven't joined it. I know a lot of divisions and camps and stuff have been given money at the national conventions, and I've seen a lot of money come out. I joined 21st Century Confederate Heroes back in October at our last GEC meeting. So looking forward to the future. I think we got a bright future coming up ahead of us, and hopefully by the time I'm stepping down as Lieutenant Commander in Chief, we have raised our membership a good bit over this next, basically we got a year and a half before that time frame now. So if we can increase our membership a good percentage by that time, by July of 2026, I will be a happy man. Especially since I'm the head of the recruiting and retention committee. So, and speaking of retention, Sean,
Exactly.
speaking of retention, y'all, going back to the camp again, hit up everybody that was a member that didn't pay their dues, the camp adjutant, camp commander, other members of the camp. Find out, call these guys that dropped out and find out if they're willing to come back. If your camp can, if they need some financial help or whatever, give the people some financial help if you're able. I know my camp's done that in the past, and especially for younger folk that are working hard and got young families and having trouble paying their way through. And sometimes 35, 40, 50 bucks a year is a little more than they want to give. And it buys some food on the table for them. So I'm just like I said, I'm just happy right now that loan's gone. I'm happy I got my last article written in on January 1st, because I tell you what.
Oh yeah, me too.
I'm the worst part of this job is writing the article for the magazine. I tell you, man, when I was division commander the first time around in Virginia from 2016 to 18, I used to have to write a long article for our newsletter back then. And that was every month, and I didn't like it. And I was with Donnie back in December. We were in South Carolina at a Christmas banquet down there. And I told him that, and he goes, well, we count it this way. You only got 9 more articles to go as Lieutenant Commander in Chief. It's like, well, that's one way of looking at it. But, I'm just thrilled right now. If you can't tell, I'm really happy about all the current things going on in the SCV and the programs, between the debts being paid off, the billboard program coming out, and everything else going on, reunions coming up. Looks like this is going to be a really good year.
That's cool. I'm happy to hear that, especially with the billboards, because didn't know anything about the SCV, and the billboards are the ones that caught my eye. And I went to a reenactment. I was talking to a friend of mine. Uh, Turned out he was an SC member, and their camp had a booth there. And so, same with the Sons of the Union veterans. I asked them what they do, for the community, this and that. Uh, Sons, I mean, nothing to knock the Sons here, wasn't doing much in the community versus the SCV camp at the time.
Yeah, that's one thing. We got camps up here working, like I said, they get out there in the community working at the food banks, passing out food to the needy, helping scouts, doing school. If you can still get in a school, which some places still let you in to do programs, but it's getting harder and harder with that. The school systems are still not the friendliest to us, but if you can still do it, and I know Florida's different. It's and I hope that things haven't changed. My dad was a school teacher down there in Florida for 30 some years. And so back then we didn't have the problems we have now.
It's changed quite a bit.
Yeah. So, but I tell you what I do miss is I miss the weather, man. It's 20 something degrees up here right now, dude. We just had a blast of snow the other day that just
it's
finally.
Gonna be it's gonna be the low 50s down here.
Oh, for a low temperature?
Yeah.
That's well, the low tonight's going to be about 20 degrees here, and then a high tomorrow of 36. So, yeah, I miss Florida. But I don't know if I'll ever get back down there anytime soon because dadgum insurance, house insurance, and car insurance rates are so high down there, you can't afford it. So,
I know. Tell me about the car insurance. I just got my renewal letter, and I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, I was talking to my mom last night. She lives in Melbourne. That's where I grew up. And she was telling me how bad hers was, and she drives about 2,000 or 3,000 miles a year, I think. That's about it. And she pays somewhere around $150 a month. And I was like, nah, man, I can't deal with that. So, but anyway, you got anything specifically you want to ask about, or?
Yeah, Roy, is that on me or Tony or both of us? That's funny, Bobby. Good evening, Commander Boshears. Good to see you. Okay. It might be
Jason's
my internet
in
because we're using StreamYard through my computer. Yeah.
Who's freezing? Am I freezing up too, or just you?
And I'm. Roy and Jeffro both said both of us.
Both of us are freezing up.
If you're doing it, then it's not my connection. Then it's StreamYard.
Let's StreamYard then, because I got good internet.
Yeah, because I keep looking down on my router, and I got all green bars. So it's internet. Our lovely. Yeah. So Tony, I know we got quite a bit of Lee Jacksons coming up, especially here in Florida. What's your schedule look like for this month?
Well, like I said, I'm leaving Thursday, heading to Lexington, Virginia, and we have a symposium there Friday. The ceremony at Jackson Circle there and on Saturday morning, and then the parade through Lexington, and then a luncheon right after that, and then a banquet and a dance Saturday evening. If Jason's in the chat, he was there last year, so it's the same basic thing that was there last year. This year, I'm the only one from National going to be there. I think Adam was supposed to be there, but something came up and he has to stay down there at HQ this weekend. So wish could see everybody else, but there are so many Lee Jackson events going on this month and early next month that we're kind of spread thin. I was invited to quite a few of them, and of course I've been scheduled for this one for almost a year. I think right after the last one they asked me to attend this year again. Then next week on the 25th, the following Saturday, I have a local one here to me, my original camp, Stonewall Jackson Camp in Portsmouth, Virginia. They're having theirs Lee Jackson banquet, and I'm going to be at that one. And then February 1st, we have our DEC meeting in Virginia Beach, and then I think I'm okay. Well, I have a couple more meetings I'm been asked to come and speak at a few camps in the area. And I think at the end of this month too, I'm going to a camp down in North Carolina. So it's like I said, the schedule's picking up, and it'll be pretty heavy now until, like I said, through August. I think I got to go. In fact, in August this year, I've been asked to go up to a camp's 50th anniversary celebration in Michigan. So
wow.
I don't know if you know John McLeese, but I was invited up there to their camp.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think Jason went up there, so he knows where it's at and all that. But that'll be my first time going that far up into the Great White North. I told him as long as it's not in the wintertime, I'll be glad to come. But,
right.
Yeah.
I'm reading the chat. Roy's going to be at the Bluegrass Brigade, Lee Jackson. He's leaving Thursday.
Is that one in Kentucky?
And it looks like Jason, I am not going to make Lexington. He's going to be at one in Mississippi.
Yeah, they got us scattered to the winds this year. We're all over the place, which is great. Yep. I mean, it's the more we can get to, the better. It's
Yeah, because I got one this Saturday. Bobby Van Zandt, the camp commander for the camp in St. Pete, he has his going on this Saturday. So it's always a fun time hanging out with the St. Pete boys and the boys and girls from the early camp will be there.
Very good. Well, I'll be back down in Florida again sometime this summer. So hopefully I'll be able to hit up a few camp meetings while I'm down there. I know you asked me if next time we come down to try to see if we can work out and get over to your side of the state. I haven't been over down in the Naples area probably since I was a kid. So.
Yeah, it's changed quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just going from Norfolk, I went to Homestead a couple months ago, and that whole area's changed for me.
I haven't been to Tampa area or down in Miami area in over 40 years, I guess now. It's I don't know if I want to. It's
Tampa is not bad when it's on the weekends. Miami's a different story.
Well, I basically left for the last time in 1983 in the Navy when I got transferred up here to Virginia. And every time I go home, it just amazes me. Now, that's been almost 42 years now. The growth it just continues. And it's not the same Florida that I left and grew up in, that's for sure. But it's my home. I still claim it. I mean, although I've lived up here more, probably 2/3 of my life now, uh, Florida's always my home. I'm a Floridian by birth and by the grace of God too.
Yeah, Florida's not bad. Old Florida still exists up in North Florida
Oh
and
yeah,
inside the state.
yeah, up where I was
The
born,
coast, yeah.
up in North Florida, Putnam County, and lived in Gainesville for a while too when I was a little kid, till Dad got a job down in Melbourne, and that's where we moved to in 1964. So almost, yeah, it was 61 years ago coming up. So but my family, like I said, I probably told you before, but my family first got into Florida back in the 1830s. So,
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, they were living up above Gainesville area back then. And,
Mm-hmm.
so had big cattle ranchers, and of
Well,
course,
looking at the chat, you're already getting invites for camps.
oh, what for Florida?
Yeah.
Hey,
The early camp, Melbourne camp, and the St. Pete camp.
well, I've been wanting to hit the Melbourne camp because I go home and visit my family every year, obviously, and my mom
Yeah.
and brothers still live in Melbourne, and we vacation down in Vero Beach quite a bit. In fact, I
Mm-hmm.
met with Roy last summer when we were down there, and
Right.
so, but I'm never there when the Dickinson camp meets. I just missed it. And last year we had to change our plans. We were going to be in Melbourne, but we had to go up to the St. Augustine area like the day before that, and had to stay up there for a few days. So I
Well, that's
missed
all
out
right.
again.
One of their camp officers for the St. Augustine camps in the chat, Ronnie Nichols. I don't know if
Oh,
he
okay.
still is. I haven't seen him speak up. I know he's listening. So
Yeah,
I'm sure the St. Augustine camp would love to have you too.
yeah. We try to stay there for about a week every year, and that's usually August time frame. We're in St. Augustine and Crescent Beach area, and we're out in West Putnam County sometimes, and not too far from Gainesville and Ocala. So I know we got camps
Mm-hmm.
in Ocala, Gainesville, and in the villages, which isn't that far.
Nope. And I'm surprised he hasn't joined the chat. The camp commander in Ocala, and that's Bob Highball. I just got off the phone with him. He hasn't spoke up, said hi or anything, but I'm sure he's listening.
That's good. Yeah, I like to every
Knowing
place we go.
knowing Bob Highball in that camp, they're probably yeah.
Well, like I said, we're heading to Tennessee again in
Yeah,
March,
I mean,
early March, and I try to hit
mm-hmm.
camp meetings in Tennessee too. In fact, I'll on the way back from the GC meeting, I'll be hitting at least one camp in Tennessee, possibly two along the way there. I'm
Right.
trying to think everything else coming up, and I'm going to the Kentucky reunion this year. I think that's in May. Of course, Virginia's in
Cool.
April. We got that. I'm probably going to be hitting up some of the camps up in right across the line in West Virginia sometime this year too. I don't know where else I'm going. It's like I said, through August I'm pretty busy, and not as much as some of these people run around. But I think Banner Chief, he stays on the road. I think I felt like I was living out of my wife and I out of our suitcases, but
I thought our commander in chief had a nice RV. I mean, the way, just like you said, with him being on the road all the time.
They drive, I think. Well, he flew into South Carolina last month when we were down there, and
Hmm.
so. But
I know
it was
Ronnie
only.
Kennedy.
What was that?
Yeah, I know Ronnie. Yeah, I know Ronnie Kennedy was just here at the J.J. Dickerson Lee
Yeah,
Jackson dinner, and he drove him and his wife drove down.
yeah. I would like to have been there too. Missed the snow up here. It's 'cause I wouldn't even had to stay in a hotel because I just stayed at Mom's house.
Yeah, yeah. I would appreciate seeing you. Like I said, I haven't seen you or talked to you since the national reunion.
Yeah,
So I was curious what you've been up to, and yeah, since you got elected there in Charleston.
yeah. Like I said, beside running around and bringing greetings and visiting camps and stuff, the biggest thing that I got to do was I got asked to go out to Missouri, out near Kansas City, for
Oh,
there's a that trial out there for that monument case they had in Liberty, Missouri. And
right.
it
Are you able to talk about it? Is it a good thing, or did it go the other way?
well, it went against us for the time being. It's looks like it's going out to appeal, so hopefully it'll be turned around out there. That case is very relevant across the SCV because they're trying to take a monument out of the cemetery.
What?
And yeah, yeah,
Out of a
and
cemetery?
out of a cemetery. They told us here in Virginia, that move your monuments to museums and cemeteries, they'll never be bothered. Well, that's a case right there. You know, case in point. And you look up at Arlington National Cemetery with the Reconciliation Monument. They took it out of a cemetery there. That's another thing we're hoping that'll get put back, and along with all our Confederate base names, military bases. Maybe we'll
Yeah,
get
because
them.
yeah, speaking of the military bases, I was just talking to a client of mine the other day, and we were talking about Fort Benning. He goes, "Yeah, I heard they renamed it to, what was it?" I said, "I don't know, but I'm always going to call it Fort Benning. Spent my summers growing up there. My uncles retired out of that base, and yeah, I don't
Yeah,
care
we
what they
don't.
changed it to."
Yeah, we had several. We had one, two, three or four up here in Virginia changed, and no one calls them by
Yeah.
those new names. They're always Fort Lee, Fort Pickett, Fort AP Hill. So
Well, technically, if they want to get anal or whatever, Fort Benning used to be called Port Columbus during the war of our ancestors. It was a Confederate depot. Then they changed it years after that to Fort Benning. I
yeah, I
spent a lot of
mean,
time in the museum.
yeah. So other than that, like I said, it'll be busy the next few months. I'm looking forward to everything and seeing everybody. And like I said, if as soon as I get my plans straight, when I come down to Florida, I'll give you a buzz and let you know
Yeah.
and see what we can work out if the timing's right. Of course, Roy Hudson, I'll be down in that area, and like I said, St. Augustine, Jacksonville area. So as many
Yeah,
places I can hit.
I would love to get you over here in Naples and get you to a camp meeting. My camp's small. We're growing, and I would love to give them the opportunity of meeting some of our GEC.
Hey, you got Roy Hudson real close to you.
I know. Roy's been to my camp. Yeah, like I said, we're small, but we're busy.
I'll say, hey, Roy, let's hitch a ride together.
Yeah, I tell you what, Roy probably be down with that. Knowing Roy well enough, he probably said, "You come down, we'll hop in the truck and go."
Yeah, well, I know Roy was a traveling man when he was campaigning for his office too. So he
Yep,
put.
we already got a. Roy already said yes, sir.
I remember that, Roy. I'll talk to you in March.
Yeah, yeah, because I haven't put it out or anything. I just, like I said, I just got off the phone with my regional lieutenant commander. I will be going to Houston this year.
Good.
Yeah, it's always a good time up in National, seeing everybody.
Yeah, it's busy, but it's fun. And I guess now that I'm in the position I'm in, it's going to be even busier because I got extra meetings and stuff to do. But
Yep.
it's hey, it's all good. I enjoy it, and I enjoy the camaraderie with everybody. There's not too much hate and discontent amongst us anyway, for the most part. I mean, we get a little bit of disagreement among folks, but hey, it's the Southern way.
Well, it's not only the Southern way; it's the Scott Irish way too.
Yeah.
That's normal.
We'll hate each other today,
But
but love each other
yeah,
tomorrow. And I got your back.
yep, pretty much. That's right, sir. Reunions are usually busy for all of us.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes. But the after hours stuff is always fun.
Well, that's part of the problem is I don't get enough sleep at these things.
What's sleep?
Yeah, really. At 4 to 5 hours, that's plenty, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, reunions. It don't matter if it's a division reunion or national reunion. It's good to see everybody, catch up with everybody you don't normally get a chance to see. Like Tony. The only time I hear from him, it's usually over instant messenger, stuff like that. Same with our past commander in chief, Jason Boshiers. We're all busy with this organization. We wouldn't do it if we didn't love this organization.
That's that's exactly right. Uh,
Yep.
I joined in 1991 or two, and I never expected to be an officer in a camp. I just wanted to join and do what I could to honor my ancestors. And
Hmm.
next thing I know, I was a lieutenant commander or second lieutenant commander in the camp. And then when I transferred into a new camp, I wound up being right less than a year later. I guess I was an officer. Just a few months later, I was a lieutenant commander. And then all of a sudden, was commander for 10 years. And then I've been adjutant now for the last 6 years, division commander a couple different times, division adjutant, lieutenant commander, lieutenant commander in chief. I never came into the SCV looking for a position and still not looking for positions, but I just want to do everything I can to help the SCV.
Yeah.
And and that's, sometimes I forgot when I was in the Navy, when you got out, you were told, remember what Navy stands for, never again volunteer yourself. Well, I guess I never learned that lesson. So I,
Yep. Yeah.
I don't mind. Like I said, I enjoy. If I didn't enjoy it, I wouldn't be doing it. I love getting out. Used to get out in the cemeteries all the time and work, and I'm just, doing the parades, working out in the community, whatever, having booths at fairs, state fair, particularly like this past October, we had our state fair in Virginia, and it's great meeting everybody out in the public and spreading the word about who we are and what we do, and trying to get membership up again. And like I said, that's the biggest thing right now is recruit, and get those guys back that have dropped out, as many as you can. Get a hold of them, and we gotta grow. We got a positive future ahead of us, and we got to keep it up. And like I said, if Jason's still in the chat, Jason was very instrumental in working on this, getting this loan paid off with the benefactors. And Jason's also in charge of getting the Forest Plaza put back together here. And hopefully that'll be able to get finished sometime in the near future, and look forward to seeing that put back up. And if anybody gets a chance, get up to Elm Springs, visit our museum. It's our museum. We bought it. We paid for it. We're still paying for it. Yes. Well, it's not all paid for. We can pay our back, but get up there and visit. I mean, it's a great museum. They got a lot of great stuff in there, and they keep getting more. And of course, the Elm Springs itself, the house, is a pretty neat place to visit and get a tour from Adam Southern. He does a great job. There is our executive director, and he's a great tour guide too. So if you haven't had that chance, like I said, get up there and go.
Yeah, that's the one thing. Yeah, I mean, the last time I was up there is when we did the forest reinterment. And
things
I want
have
to go
changed.
back and actually. Oh yeah, because I want to see the house, the inside and that. I mean, that's a busy time and all that, but I want to go through the house and have a guided tour. That's on my list of stuff to do.
Well, the museum itself is great, man. If you get the chance, get in there. Like I said, go there. And Jason only lives a few miles away, so he's in there all the time helping put things together. And last year, yeah, it was 10 display cases they got in, and they were in there mounting them, and they've been filling those up. And I think they're getting ready to hopefully get some more here soon and get those filled up with more displays. It's from the horror stories. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can tell Jason loves this organization because he's the only commander in chief that I know of that mowed the lawn at Elm Springs.
Yeah, I got on him last time we were down there for missing a spot. he said he would get his mower back over there and have to come back out there and chop there was some tall grass. He would have to whip on a little bit, but I don't think he has to worry about it right now. I think they were covered in snow here recently, so they had a lot more than we did anyway.
And it might be a good recruitment tool or something like that to have a camera aimed at, the building, so to speak, like a 24-hour live stream, so you can see the different weather and stuff that goes on around the house.
Talk to the boys at headquarters.
Yeah. Well, you're one of them, and Jason's in the chat. And Roy.
Yeah, I'm just a peon, man.
It's something because, I'm all the way down here in the Everglades, and I would love to see what Elm Springs looks like with snow on the ground. An actual picture, not a postcard type thing.
No, you need to go up there and experience firsthand.
Yeah.
Get that Florida man out of your system and get up there and play in the snow.
Hey, I play in swamp water with gators and pythons.
Yeah, I used to be that way too. I lived in the swamp, man. That's where it's at.
Oh, as we were talking about the museum, Jason where did it go? Jason just popped this in. Wow. Congratulations.
They got
You
the room
received
for them,
another
and
grant.
I think I saw last time we were down there, they were discussing the fact that they were probably going to get that. So, yeah, need more artifacts. I'm bringing a couple of things down for put up on display down there that I already talked to Adam about. So, one's a
Oh, that's cool.
portrait of my ancestor and thing we had made in the Stonewall Jackson camp when I first joined. We had portions of dry dock number 1, which was where the CSS Virginia was put together, and we had the
Right.
granite from the dry dock cut up into paperweights. So it's a actual paper, piece of granite where the Virginia was. So where it was
Right.
built,
And,
refurbished from.
and I'm glad you brought that up because I had a camp member that has a journal, handwritten journal of my camp's namesake, Lieutenant Bogus. It's one of his direct descendants that it's in my camp that has his journal. That while I got everybody's attention, they are trying to preserve it and they want to get copies of it. One to go to our camp and possible another one to go up to Elm Springs. Uh, Lieutenant Bogus is a veteran of 4 wars, so the War of Northern Aggression and three Seminole Wars, and I believe the Cuban the war with Mexico. So, does anybody have any ideas on a book historian? Because they want to preserve the book and make copies.
Mm.
Yeah, that just came up within the last couple of days from a camp member. And I told him I'll bring it up on the show Tuesday night and see what the chat heads have to say. So, we're getting ready to wrap up the show. Does anybody have any questions for Tony? Feel free to ask or forever hold your peace. Well, nothing's coming in. So, Tony, I just want to say thank you for taking time out today on coming on Look Around Florida and giving our members, not only in Florida, I saw a couple of Tennessee, a couple guys from Alabama, and various other camps throughout the state of Florida, updates on what's going on with the museum and in general. Just want to say thank you for coming on tonight, sir.
Yeah, appreciate it. Had a great time, and it's always good to talk to my fellow Floridians, even though I'm up here in Virginia. Uh, it brings me back home for a little while, anyway. And remember, all those guys you were saying were looking about trying to invite me to things. Well, if my email address is you go on the website, nationalscv.org and stuff, you can contact me through there, or rebtg@aol.com. You can send me something there. And if anybody wants Lee Jackson events for next year, I've already been telling everybody to get them in as soon as possible because they fill up fast and I can only go to so many, especially if they're spread out. So if you want me around, let me know because I'm always ready to make a trip to Florida anytime. So, but thanks for having me, Sean. And
Yeah, what? Oh, yeah, I appreciate. Okay, I got a link for everybody. This is directly off the website. There you go, guys. I'm uploading the link in the chat. If you want to get Tony or Jason or anybody from our GEC, including our very own AOT councilman, Roy Hudson, to come to your camp meeting, you can mail them directly through the link in the chat. That's the link directly off the SCV's website for our general elected council. So this way you can get a hold of Tony, Roy, Jason, our commander in chief, and the list goes on. And Carl, wherever he's flying around these days.
Who knows what's
All
Carl's
right, guys. Oh yeah, I mean, he's just as busy as the rest of us.
Oh yeah, that's why you don't see him. He's running around
Somewhere.
Yeah.
From Florida all the way up to Ohio. So thank you for taking time out today. Guys, if you have any camp projects or brigade projects coming up, feel free to email me. Most of you guys, if you're a camp commander, brigade commander, you have my email address. You can get that on our Facebook page or members only page. That way you can email me your camp projects or your brigade projects or your regional projects, and I can get to help you get the word out. Until next Tuesday, possible Wednesday, depending on my internet connection. Have a good night. Stay Southern. Stay out of trouble. And we're going to end the show off with a video on one of our Florida Division members.
My name is Nelson W. Winbush. I'm a member of the Jacob Sumner Camp 1516, Sons of Confederate Veterans. My reason for joining the Sons of Confederate Veterans after the NAACP declared they would destroy and remove everything Confederate in 1990, I decided that I would do all I could to make sure that people understood what the Confederacy stood for.
Stay Southern, stay out of trouble, and may God bless you in your adventures this week. Till next Tuesday, have a good night. Stay Southern.